what's up guys, Mr. Free Coiner back with you again. Hope you guys are doing well and you've been keeping your eye on all the happenings going on in the crypto market. In the market altogether, actually. Wanted to talk about this particular article here. This is something that I saw previously. I don't know why it has November 2nd on it. However, I was looking at this just a couple days ago actually. But it's something that I guess is a possibility, I would imagine, considering the fact that we all know that the stock market's been on basically an unsustainable bull run for the last 10 years. I'm not going to read this particular article, but I would definitely put it down in the description. And make sure you check out this video. Now, he is trying to sell something, but he brings a lot of good information, which I am going to mention in this video, but you can always check out the video yourself. Just to let you know, this is where I got the information from. Now, let me say this. Of course, I'm not a financial analyst, so please don't take anything I say as any advice or anything like that as far as your finances go. Just take what I say with a grain of salt and do your own research. These are just my opinions. So 70% stock market crash to strike December 1st, economist warns. Now, according to the guy in the video, they correctly called I think all the way back to 1987. They correctly called the 1987 crash, the .com crash, and also to the 2008-2009 crash, right? So they're saying now that the stock market has been going up for the last 10 years, and it didn't pull back in 2014 when it was supposed to. Okay, and essentially what has happened in the past was that when it gets to a certain point, I can't remember the exact amount, the exact level that the stock market would get to, and then it will pull back and then it run up. So the last couple times that it did this, it pulled back successfully, as we saw in 2008, and we did a recovery. But this time it went straight past that point on up, almost twice what it was at that point. So he's saying that at this point it is very likely that we're about to see a 70% crash, as it mentions in this article. And you might ask, as I did, okay, what was different this time? Okay, that's the thing. And he kept saying, it took him a minute to actually get to it. And of course they have to, kind of string you along to keep pulling you along so they can, sell you whatever it is they're trying to sell you. It's not real, it's not that bad. His sales pitch or whatever it is, it's not really that bad. Of course he's trying to, get his book or whatever out there. But it's good information. So let me just say this. The reason why in 1929, he's saying that the reason why the 1929 crash happened was because companies were allowed to buy their own stocks. Okay, so already you can see where that can lead to problems. Okay, he said that what ended up happening was these companies were buying their own stocks, making their company look more profitable than it really was, and it got to a point where, of course, it led to the 29 crash. Okay, after that happened, they banned the companies' abilities to buy their own stocks. Okay, it recently. And I think after it was after the 2008 crash, because of a particular law, and I kind of want to get into this article almost, but the problem is you can't you can't fast forward. That's the thing. That's the problem with this. So anyway, he was saying that um, this crash, or rather, what happened after 2008 was some type of bill that that rescinded the law against companies being able to buy their own stocks. So, like every company, every big company out there, from Apple to Lowe's to Home Depot, Bank of America, all these different companies, what they have been doing is buying their own stocks, trying to make their own company look more profitable than it really is. Okay, that's what's happening because people like us who are out here, just regular people, we're not buying stocks for the most part. I mean, it actually, the graph that he showed was that there's been a dip in the purchase of stocks from us, and there were two others I cannot remember. You'll see it in the video if you watch it. But the ones that were actually increasing, and I'll tell you how much they've actually pumped into the market. But the ones that have been increasing in their purchase of stocks were the companies themselves. Okay, and man, they have pumped in over $5.1 trillion of their money and borrowed money into the stock market to basically boost up their own values, which essentially is why the stock market is where it is, and will very likely have a 70% correction. And he's saying that 70% is actually a conservative number. So it could be worse. He said it could be up to 90%. All right. That's what happened in 1929. It was a 90% correction that, I mean, it just blew the socks off of everybody. Everyone was affected. But there were a lot of people who saw it coming. They did what they needed to do, pulled their money out of the stocks and did whatever else they needed to do. After everything, all the dust settled, when all the property and everything was like pennies on the dollar, they bought it all up. So I'm saying all that to say this. Right now, we are all in a very, very good position. Okay. If this plays out the way he is saying, okay, we are about to be in a position that's akin to the 1929 crash. Okay, after the fact. So do with that what you may. It's very likely once this happens, the housing market is going to crash. The housing prices are going to crash. The property values are going to go through the floor. I mean, it's going to be a bloodbath. The important thing here is for us to remain away, stay where we are, right? We need to remain in crypto. And because what's going to happen is, of course, I mean, it's right there. It's pretty obvious. As the economy tanks, our crypto is going to get boosted up. The amount of money your crypto is worth will get boosted up higher and higher. So say, for example, XRP does by the end of the year, say it hits, 500, 589, whatever, that number we're looking for, right? Well, if we see this crash, which he said will start on may start on December 1st, but we'll see levels of it. It's not going to just all of a sudden everything happens on December 1st. It's going to be other dates as we go along, to where we just see more dips, and it just keeps falling down, keeps dropping. Okay, so I mean, very possibly by the middle of the year, maybe a little further, we could be looking at a huge or we could be looking at the 70% that he's talking about, maybe more. So just imagine if XRP, or I'm just using XRP as because that's what we invest in. If XRP is at 589 by the middle of the year, after this 70% crash happens, we could be looking at 1,000, 2,000, maybe more. Who knows? Who really knows? It's hard to say what it's going to look like. And also that's not the only pressure that's on the dollar, on our economy. It's the de-dollarization of the world for the most part. China's pulling away, Russia's pulling away, Turkey. I mean, the list just goes on and on and on. It's just going further and further. And guys, everyone who is not in crypto, it's going to be a sad, sad time. Next year for us is going to be awesome, but for those who are not in crypto right now, okay, who have not already filled their bags, are going to be highly disappointed. I mean, I've been trying to tell as many people as possible, but nobody listens. And this is exactly what happened in 2008. The same thing. People were being told by the mainstream media, oh, everything's okay, the economy's doing great. And even now you get a little bit of information, talking about the precarious position we're in, but there's nothing where they're telling people that there's imminent danger. Okay, so people are thinking, okay, well, we've been doing well, it'll recover, it'll be okay, we're not going to have a huge problem. But they are absolutely wrong. So guys, I just wanted to bring this to you. I thought it was pretty important. I found it very very interesting, and what we could be looking at. And again, I don't know. I mean, I'm just telling you what this guy said, and just as far as what I know as well, and me trying to explain certain things to you and what I've seen, because I had houses. I had, I think, 6 or 7 houses in 2008, and I went through it. I was an investor, and I was dealing with all that. I had some big time problems back then. So I've dealt with it. I've seen it. I see what can happen. And again, I think this is very important for everyone to understand, that we're not immune to a huge crash, to hyperinflation. We're not immune. All of our industry has been sent over to other countries, namely China. We're buying pretty much everything from overseas because it was cheaper. But hey, the chickens have come, or their chickens are about to come home to roost. All right, we're going to have to get ourselves together, and I think it's going to be on us, those of us who are smart enough to get into crypto, to really, possibly rebuild the economy, or help rebuild it. There is a guy who's they're calling, well, he's a crypto millionaire. They said a millionaire, but I'm thinking more along the lines of a billionaire. But he just spent I think it was a little over $100 million purchasing just basically desert land in Nevada, okay, over near Reno, I think it was. He's wanting to create or build a cryptocurrency utopia over there, and which is exciting. It's awesome news. It's exciting stuff that is about to happen for those of us who are in the space. But it's going to be a huge a problem for everyone else. So I feel bad about that, but at the same time, honestly, guys, I thank God that He put me in this position. I mean, everything else that's happened in my life, all the bad stuff. I mean, I got to tell you, I have seen the bottom. I've seen the bottom of that can. I mean, believe me, I've been there, and I got to tell you, I would rather go through all of that than to be on the other side of this once all of this goes down, because it's going to be terrible. So again, thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate everything. I mean, I got to tell you, everything that you guys have contributed, your comments and your likes and everything. I mean, this has been more than I could have imagined, and I really appreciate it, guys. If you're watching now and you have not subscribed and definitely hit that post notification button, please do. And while you're doing that, smash that like button as well. Make sure you come back and check out what I have to say, also along with the other YouTubers out there that are pouring our souls into this. Just make sure you stay up on it and do the best you can for yourself and your families, guys. With that being said, take care of yourselves and God bless.